Hi guys, the question it is question number 13. We are solving the UPSC last mains paper of the general studies, and here I am discussing the history segment. So guys, the question on my screen is question number 13, and this question is coming from the world history component. Oftenly every year UPSC is asking one question, although from 2013 and 14 and 15, when the syllabus of UPSC got changed, in the first phase we find 3 and 4 questions from the world history. But for the last 3 years, it is very surprising, amazing. We are having hardly one question, and there were 2 years papers, in 2019 and 2017. There was not even a single question from world history. So don't get scared of world history. Keep in your mind, the ongoing trend is that you can find around one question from the world history. See the question here. Why indentured labor was taken by the British from India to other colonies? Have they been able to preserve their cultural identity over there? The question is having two components. The first is why. So see, we'll proceed like this. This answer should be written in the 3 para, In the first para, we can put some introduction here. Here we will try to put some points that what we mean by indentured labor. As you may be aware, it is a type of servitude. It is a type of bonded labor. It is a type of forced labor. So in the introductory para, you should put this point that after abolition of slavery by law in the British Empire passed by the Parliament, Charter 1833, slavery was declared as a punishable offence. Gradually, after 10 years, in India it also got effective. I think you may be aware, by Alan Barrow, slavery became a punishable offence by Act 5, 1843, by the Governor General, Alan Barrow. So, first, here we have put the point that it is only after abolition of slavery now it become punishable offence. But the British planters, they were highly shrewd, Now they are evolving a new practice of exploitation of labor, Indian labor class, to serve their economic interest. At the time, Britain was witnessing industrial revolution. It was the peak of industrial revolution going on. So guys, in the first para, put the lines, what do you mean by indentured labor? It was a type of forced labor. It became popular after the abolition of slavery in British Empire in 1833. In India, it is 1843. And now the planters have devised a new type of exploitation called as indentured labor. So why it was evolved? Because slavery had got, question is why it got evolved? Because it was profitable. Now there is no slavery. Slavery is an offense. Hence now these planters, capitalists, they signed the bonds of 5 years. Terms and conditions were prepared by the one side. Workers were not taken into confidence. Laborers were not taken into confidence. They were illiterate, and they were taken to the Caribbean countries, East Africa, South Africa, Malaya, Burma. In the first para, we have clarified the meaning of indentured labor and why it got practiced, because it was profitable. Slavery got abolished. slavery got abolished. That is why it came into practice, because the workers were forced to work against their will, and since they had signed a bond, now they are working for a certain number of years, 5 years. Again, it got renewed by one side. And in the first para, we have discussed the same. And now in the second para, we will discuss, we will come to the main theme of the question. Have they been able to preserve their culture identity over there? So before proceeding the same, keep in your mind, here also put this point, that due to the demand of the early nationalists, this practice got abolished by law in 1917. But it was not humanitarian reason. Humanitarian reason was not there. It was a pressure from this early nationalist leaders of India. And simultaneously, by this time, the other countries have also industrial revolution, and now it was not so much profitable. Hence, it got abolished by 1917. And here we can proceed to the main theme of the question. Have they been able to preserve their culture? So guys, it is very amazing. The Indians who had migrated to outside as indentured labor, whether in Southeast Asia, South Africa, East Africa, Caribbean countries, they were able to preserve their culture. But unfortunately, in that country, in that foreign country, they faced some identity crisis because they were regarded as migrants. In case of India, they are regarded as non-residents. So gradually, the contemporary government in India today, Modi government had announced some provisions for securing and preserving their culture. And lastly, we can say this indentured labor, in the last para we can say this indentured labor was a blot on the history of classical capitalism. It was a blot on the history of classical capitalism. And fortunately, the migrants had preserved their culture. It is really a praiseworthy thing. Okay, guys, wishing you all the best. We will continue the same series, again discussions. Okay.